Yes, sir.
Kind of sad. Let's do it in here. Like, you guys should actually, like, try to start a business. It would be crazy to think that your first venture would be the one that's like, you knock it out of the park. Life, I was like, I want to do that with wallets.
So
It's
you,
almost like,
you would even say don't even try to get a degree, just go to learn.
Yeah, isn't that the purpose for school?
Just a quick note before we start. It's a great experience talking to Colby. He was a really cool guy. You know, I actually related to him like a lot of ways. Went to a similar school to him, just down the street. Grew up in the same area, similar aspirations. So I actually filmed this towards the beginning of the year, so it's been a second. I haven't gone around to editing it, and so I just finished it. But it's a great interview. Thanks, big shout out to Colby for taking it, and let's play it.
I always start these interviews out just asking you a little bit about your background, your history, how you grew up. So if you just want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I'm from Arizona, as you are. Grew up in Scottsdale, which there's a lot of. It's beautiful. It's desert. I grew up golfing, playing soccer.
That's awesome.
I have 3 older sisters, and they're incredible. Love them all. My dad is a financial advisor, also entrepreneur, and then my mom's more of the creative mind. She's like an artist. She's just always dance. She was a big dancer in college. Just like always, she's funny. So have like a good balance of different like types of parents, different types of personalities growing up. But Arizona was just full of, as a kid, it was like we lived right on the reservoir, like the Indian reservoir, or not, sorry, like Indian reservation.
Okay.
And I had a 4-wheeler, and I just
that's awesome.
I had it like access from my backyard, and I would just like get home from school and just like cruise out into the
That
desert.
is so sweet.
And
Yeah, I had a dirt bike growing up. It was a Honda 450.
So fun.
My dad would always take us to the dune. So.
Oh, so you know what's up.
Yeah.
No, it was so fun. Just a childhood dream of just like exploring and adventure. And my dad's also big into action sports, so there was always like, I mean, he got me into snowboarding. I was competitive wakeboarder, skateboarder, and just lots of different like high adrenaline type things.
Did you guys? Did you grow up going to the lake? You have a boat growing up?
Yeah. We lived close to Saguaro Lake. Well, not close, but like 30 minutes from Saguaro Lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same deal. I was going to Swirl Lake Canyon. You ever go to Canyon?
Yeah.
Went to Canyon a ton.
Oh,
wakeboard a ton growing up. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, it's what's fun. Like Arizona, I felt like the Arizona kids kind of envied the California kids a little bit because they had the ocean. But so we would just get our fix in the water at the lake, and fortunate enough to have a boat. So my dad and I would go early in the morning before school, and we'd wakeboard or ski, and then I'd just wear wet board shorts to school in the morning, like for middle school. It was just like pick up McDonald's breakfast on the way back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
So that. My childhood was really fun. I was taught a lot through these sports. I was taught a lot through. I played soccer at BYU, so I have like the element of team sports as well, and which teaches you a whole array of different lessons than like independent or action sports do. Also, action sports are interesting because they're like lifestyle driven too. So there's like more than just the sport itself that makes up the sport. It's like the fashion and the music and the community and all these things.
For sure.
And so I was introduced to a lot of those things as a kid, and then have carried that through my life. But yeah, dude, it was a great raising. And
that sounds like a very athletic, awesome, similar background to what I've grown up with.
Yeah,
so
that's sweet.
That is awesome. So like what led you to become an entrepreneur? You said your dad was an entrepreneur. Do you think that had a big effect on?
So there was one point in my life that we went to, I was 14. And I'm sure that the bug of entrepreneurship got kind of in me earlier than this, but this was like the kind of one of those like deciding moments that like changed the trajectory of my life. I think that I was at a wakeboard camp in Florida, in Orlando, with my dad and my best friend Chris. And on our way back, my buddy Chris and I were just like jamming on a clothing line we wanted to start. I feel like every kid has like this dream of like having a clothing line, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were just dreaming, like we were just like, oh yeah, we could call it this, and this is our slogan, and like started writing down like, you know, drawing logos and all these things, and then like drawing shirts ideas and stuff like that. And then it's like maybe an hour or two into this, my dad leans over to us. He's like, you guys should do this. Like, you guys should actually like try to start a business. So we were on our way back, and my dad leans over and says, you guys should actually do this. And I'm thinking, I don't even know where to start. And as a 14-year-old, I wasn't thinking this was a reality. It was just kind of like fun to dream about.
Yeah.
But my dad, and he was like, I'll help you fund the first round of shirts. Like, you guys got to find a screen printer. You guys will have to do all this, you know, learn Photoshop and all the stuff that you'll need to get it going. But like, I'll help you fund the first round of shirts, and I'll even help you get like an LLC established and all these things that I had no idea what he was talking about. But I was like, cool, yeah, sick. And then so we got back and we did it. We were like full on for like 2 years, and just started getting it into like local shops, and mainly selling them out of my truck. When I turned 16, I had this truck, and we plastered. It was called Wakeology. But it was like we got these big like vinyl stickers, and we gave them to all my buddies, and they put them all over their cars. So like our whole
That's so
like
sick.
like we had, you know, 10 cars or so rolling into the parking lot every day. That was like Wakeology. So
and
it started
all
to get
your
momentum.
buddies had the brand on their car.
Yeah.
How so it was more of like a lake brand, or what was the kind of aesthetic?
Just
of the
like
brand?
within wakeboarding, you know, it's a niche, very like I would say considered a small niche. But within that, there are hard gear companies like Liquid Force or Hyperlight, or some of these big ones. Pro Tech was like helmets, but like nobody was capturing the lifestyle element of the sport with a lifestyle brand, or with a I'd consider it like an apparel brand. There wasn't really like Liquid Force and Hyperlight, these like the main two players. They had a line of clothing, and we would buy that stuff and we'd rock that stuff. But like nobody was, you know, like within surfing has
everything.
You have your boards,
stuff.
and then you have all these. You have Quicksilver and Roxy and Billabong and Rip Curl and all these brands that go on and on and on that are just like apparel. So we wanted to be the first of its kind within the wakeboarding space. So it was a lifestyle brand for wakeboarding that was mainly just shirts and hats, and it was fun. But it was for me, it was enlightening, because as a student in school, I wasn't very good. Like I think, you know, as far as I was good at getting good grades, that doesn't mean I was a good student. Like I could kind of rig the system, or, you know, like I could figure out how to get good grades.
How to get
pass
the easiest A possible.
Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't there to learn. I wasn't really there to like I wasn't passionate about what I was learning. I couldn't really dive in. I didn't do my homework. Like, you know, I wasn't like studying for tests I think a good student would. I have pretty bad ADHD, and so I tend to either I'm full on, like if it's something I really love, I'm like full on.
You're 100%.
I'm 100%. Like a 15 out of 10. If something I don't like, I'm like a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's like kind of no in between. And so with school, I was like a 0 out of 10. There were some classes though, like Photoshop, when I started to learn design and I could see the practicality of it in my life with Wakeology. I gave it everything I had. And so that was really interesting to me, that like I wasn't a bad student. I wasn't bad at learning. It just had to be like passion driven, or it had to be practical. You know, I had to be able to apply it into my real life. And then within starting a brand, I was waking up early. I was staying up late. Like I was cranking this thing out because I loved it. I loved creating something. I was kind of, you know, I got to control it in a way and like let it grow. And so that was very enlightening to me, that like passion is it's a key ingredient to anything that I do, even to this day. Is like if I'm not passionate about it, I just can't do it. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't give it my all. And so that's like a huge factor in it.
Yeah. If you care about it, you can give 100%. How big did you take this initial clothing brand, and like how big did it actually get? And then
It wasn't big. It wasn't that
Okay.
big. I mean, I had a few times where I'd see kids from other high schools rocking my
cool.
stuff, and that was
cool.
fun. But it
Yeah.
was like we were selling hundreds of shirts.
Yeah.
That's not like
So it was just
it's
kind of
not
like a fun thing you did with your friends.
exactly. It was like the first like venture, which was just exciting. Like because we were figuring out how to launch a website. We were trying to figure out how to design. Like I was learning Photoshop. I was learning how to screen print and like kind of it was a very easy supply chain. But I was learning the supply chain. I was learning how to ship things. I was learning how to work with retailers. It was just like a huge education.
Yeah.
You know?
So this brand was like a pretty big stepping stone, you would say.
1,000%.
And that would lead you later to Thread Wallets.
Yeah, there was a few other ventures in between,
Okay.
but yeah, I think for anyone's first venture, ultimately you don't need to hit a home run. I think that's like the advice I give to anybody's first venture is that you just need to get on base. Like it would be crazy to think that your first venture would be the one that's like you knock it out of the park. You know, it's like almost as if anything else, like any sport, I'm just going to relate it to sports, like skateboarding. To be able to, for you, if you've never stepped on a skateboard, it'd be like you thinking you're going to land a kickflip first try. It's like,
well, I used to skate a little
Okay,
bit.
yeah.
I'm not very good. I could like tray flip at my best.
oh, there you go. But like, imagine if you never had stepped on a skateboard
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're like trying to do, a tray flip. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
It's ridiculous.
So it just takes, similar to like anything in life, whether it's learning a musical instrument, singing, whatever it is, like you have to kind of take it step by step. And so I think the first venture is just be like, it's like your MBA,
Okay.
it's like you're just approaching it in terms of like, this is my education.
Yeah.
That's how my dad approached it for me. He was like, if this is what you're passionate about, like I'm going to invest in this. I'm not investing in Wakeology because like that could fail and I don't really care. Like he's like, but what I really care about is you. And I'm going to invest in you and your education. And so he did that again in college. I came back from my mission and one of my good friends, Garrett G, he was on the soccer team. He started an app. This is right during smartphones, like boom.
Yeah.
So like when I got back from my mission, let's see, it was like iPhone 1. And then it was like I think it was like 1 in 5 or 1 in 7 or something like that, people had smartphones.
So the very beginning.
The very beginning.
Phones.
But within like, a few months, call it 6 months, and we could even look at that up, but like it was 1 in 2 people had smartphones. It was just like, boop, 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 like just crazy, right?
The big boom.
Yeah, and so then apps became huge. And so my buddy Garrett noticed this, and he created one of the first QR code readers, and he got ranked in the top on the App Store and just cranked it, like millions of users. Ended up selling it to Snapchat for $54 million.
No way.
While he was still in school.
Yeah.
And so imagine like being a college student and like I'm getting like front row seat to this thing that he's doing. And he's a PR genius. Like he really is just a genius when it comes to marketing and getting press. We'd sit on the bus or like on the airplane and just jam on like what's happening, and it was called Scam. And so I was getting this energy and this like, oh, if he can do it, like I wonder if I could do it, And so I started to explore app ideas, because I was like, oh, we got to hit this wave. And there was a game app that was called Words with Friends that got popularity. It introduced like social games on your phone. Like for the first time in all of history, you could play a social game from your pocket.
Yeah.
Like you could be in this room, your friend could be in a different room, and you guys are playing the same game. That has never been, like you've never been able to do that in history.
Yeah. So
like social games was like brand new, and I was like, whoa, this is fascinating. Like gaming in general, like we had the idea, our first game that we were going to do, or we did, was called Pick Play. And ultimately the vision of it was to become like a social gaming platform or company. But Pick Play was, it was our first idea, which was like apples to apples. Have you ever played that game?
Yeah, I played that growing up.
It was like apples to apples, but with pictures on your phone.
Okay. So kind of like Pickwits. Have you played that game? It's like apple to apples, but with pictures.
Okay, so same thing.
Yeah.
So is that popular now?
Oh, it's a popular card game. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sick. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I pitched my dad, and I was like, I'd love to do this, and he's like, okay, I'll give you some money for that too. But it was more out of like, your education, you
Yeah.
know? So again, it was like one of the most important lessons I learned with pick play. Well, there's two valuable lessons that I walked away with. Number one is I needed to I found two developers that were students that were working on pick play as kind of like one of their first things that they were learning on the job.
Okay.
And so because they weren't efficient and there was a lot of bugs and there was a lot of like, I just kept pushing back the launch date because they just kept running into things, you know.
Yeah.
Like experience in especially development is key, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't, and if you're willing to take risk on somebody who's not educated or experienced, then I would say bring them on as a team member, as a partner, like equity partner, rather than paying them. At least for me in this case, they drained all of my money because they were working inefficiently and they were working, so I was just dishing out and then I ran out of money.
Yeah.
Whereas if I would have said, hey, you guys are like, you know, I'll give you some equity, and so I don't have to pay you. So then I still have this cash for other things to market it, whatnot.
Yeah, and you can keep
Yeah.
your business alive with
Right.
that cash.
So I learned kind of like this value of how to hire, who to partner with, and like evaluate those things. And then I did learn how to design. I learned that I could call myself a designer. Like I started to actually like get comfortable with that idea that like I knew what I was doing. What else did I learn? I think that I learned that in 9 months, if like just sitting in my apartment by myself trying to rally this thing together, I hit burnout. Like I realized I wasn't passionate enough about tech specifically that I hit burnout. And so it's like it was just as important for me to figure out what I liked what I didn't like as it was for me to figure out what I liked. So like by being able to say, okay, well that was, let's call that a failure venture. I learned what I didn't like. And so it's kind of like one of those things where you have a fork in the road, you can go this way or that way. It's like there's a talk by Elder Holland, you probably listened to it, but it was like he was with his dad and they were coming back and he goes, should we go this way or that way? They prayed about it and then they felt like they needed to go right. And they went down right, and in 60 yards the road ended. And they're like, what the heck? Like, why would God tell us to go down this right path if it was just a dead end? Well, the answer was God's going to tell you the fastest way to get to where you need to go. And by being able to check that road off as that's not the right way, then you could confidently go down this road.
That's really interesting.
It's very fascinating.
I've never
lesson.
heard of that concept before.
It was like very enlightening for me because I was like, okay, I know I'm not supposed to go with tech anymore, which was like screaming at me because like being, you know, smartphones ramping up and being at BYU, there was like every professor was like SaaS, tech, apps, everything.
The
Right?
way everything was going was like everyone's doing
Everything.
that, making it big, and you put all this work in, and it's just like not for me.
It's just not me. It's just not me. And so by being able to check that one off, I could then go full on into the things that I really loved. And that's when Thread was born, which was what I was really passionate about. The other road was consumer products. It was lifestyle branding. It was like building a legacy brand that I felt like could live in 50 years. That it wasn't just to build it to sell it. You know, like I watched Garrett do that, and that was interesting, you know, because he built it and sold it in a few years for $54 million.
Yeah, which
and
is a
he's
big
chilling.
deal.
He's got a beautiful home in Hawaii and all that, traveling the world. But like for me, what I found the other road was I want to build something that lasts, you know, and I want to build a legacy brand that in 50 years it's still around. It's something I'm proud of, right? So that venture was key in like teaching me what I really wanted to do, and then go full on confident in the other route.
So yeah, that's very interesting. That's just very like figure out what you don't want to do, and then like it's valuable to invest time trying new things just to learn what you don't want to do so you can
1000%
redirect the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. Like as a kid, you're kind of, at least for me, I was fortunate enough to like try a number of sports, right? Like I played every sport, you know, I played basketball, I played baseball, I played golf, I played soccer, I played, you know, like every sport. And it's just the same thing. It's like, okay, well, what did I like? What was I passionate about? What was I good at? And it's like you're kind of like trying to figure that out. But in order to figure that out, you have to kind of dive in.
Yeah.
You can't just like sit back and go, I like that, I like this. It's like, you have to actually understand what you like and what you don't like and why, and why you might be good. Like for me, I wouldn't have been a good basketball player because number one, I wasn't passionate about it. I'm also 5'6", like my like likelihood of succeeding in that sport is just lower. There's a lot that I didn't like. Baseball, I wouldn't have been good at because I was really good at it. Trust me, I felt like I could actually have taken that to the next level, but I hated sitting on the bench for half the game.
Yeah.
Or I hated sitting out on the field. Like the action just wasn't there. Soccer was dynamic. And so I was like, ooh, I like soccer. I'm good at soccer. I like it like that. So it took me to play those sports similar to like for business. It's like, you might not know what you like. And so you just kind of have to throw a lot at the wall, see what sticks, see what doesn't. And from there, you might pivot too.
Yeah.
It's like you like certain elements of certain sports or certain businesses or whatever. The best entrepreneurs, I think, are the ones that can identify what is sticking, why it's sticking, and if it's not sticking, how to get it to stick. That's like ultimately what I think the best entrepreneurs can do. They're really good at analyzing an opportunity and seeing it clearly, going down a path. If it's not the right opportunity, they know how to pivot, where to pivot. Because most of the time, the first throw, you're not going to land. It's not going to stick.
Yeah, you're not going to land the kickflip.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be like, it's just the whole thing where like A to success isn't like a linear line.
Yeah.
It's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, O, you're all over the map and then finally you get there.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the same thing. But the best entrepreneurs know how to pivot. So, okay, if it's not this, then what is it and why? And they can adjust slightly or to the right degree to land on the right spot the quickest.
And they can nail their product, their service, and what they're doing.
Yeah, totally.
So you said that these previous business ventures were kind of your education, but you still went to college. So what would you say, like, do you think college is, if someone's trying to become an entrepreneur, do you think college is a viable route to go down? Do you think it'd be viable just to try starting businesses to learn?
For just entrepreneurship? Like,
yes.
So yes, there's a lot of value from school, absolutely. I think it's just going into with the right expectations. Number one is, I think the way that schooling is ran, like if you're following a curriculum for a major, you might not be getting the education that you need for your future, because the curriculum itself is making the decision for you. Oh, I need to do Econ 101. Okay, I need to do these. It's just like you're just checking off the list.
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, if you are passionate about photography, videography, building social media, whatever it is that you're interested in, then you can curate your own education by choosing the classes that you want to, like, go to school to get educated.
So
it's almost like,
you would even say, don't even try to get a degree, just go to learn.
Yeah. Isn't that the purpose for school? I think the purpose for school is to get educated. I think it's like, it's the funny quote, like, don't let school get in the way of your education.
Yeah, don't let education get in the way of education.
So it's like, if, like, for me, I took the same class 5 times. I took the entrepreneurship lecture series 5 times.
Took it from Corbin Church or
from all different professors
okay.
in BYU Hawaii, BYU. There was like anytime I could sign up for that class, and like, did I need to take it? No, I didn't need to. It didn't fill in any credit that I needed to take to graduate. But I took it because it was a lecture series by real life entrepreneurs that told their story that I could connect with after the fact and ask them questions and get real life experience, knowledge, education that I felt like was applicable for me in my career. And so I took it 5 times to keep learning. I then took a crowdfunding class. It didn't fill in any major. I just took a crowdfunding class because I knew in order to kickstart my ideas, consumer products, I needed to learn how to crowdfund. I took, there was marketing. Like I took a certain marketing class. I took design. I think my approach to education or college was that I need to just get educated. So yes, 1000% college is like very viable, but it's not just college for college's sake. It's college for education's sake and doing it intentionally.
Yes. So did you end up graduating, or did you just do all the classes you want to do and then just straight into business?
I wasn't going to graduate because I did that.
Yeah.
And then I transferred out to BYU Hawaii, and I met with the counselor, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to graduate because I don't really have a major. And she's like, well, we have this major here at BYU Hawaii. It's called Interdisciplinary Studies. And so basically, we get to curate what your major is. You just have to fill in so many high-level credit classes, mid-level and lower level, and then you do a capstone project. And I was like, so can I graduate? And she's like, let's see. And so we started filling it in. She's like, you can graduate in one semester. And I was like, all right. So I graduated. But like, if that didn't exist, I probably wouldn't have graduated.
Yeah.
But I would have been educated.
And so that's a lot more valuable than just some degree. It's actually getting a real education.
For an entrepreneur, yes.
Yeah.
For a doctor, no.
Yeah, not for a doctor.
Yeah. For certain careers, you need credentials. You need like credentials that the world sees as credible. Like the world won't see like if interdisciplinary studies as a credible major.
Yeah.
But I don't need that. I'm not like going to an employer and saying, here's my resume, and then it's like I'm just creating my own job.
Yeah. So for the entrepreneurship route, like just learning and what the skills you need, the skills you enjoy is the most important thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit.
Sorry, and then a few other points on college is there's so much energy in college. Everyone's learning, everyone's growing, everyone's trying and finding what they like. There's self-discovery along the way. There's social elements. Like, dude, don't pass up college, like for the sake of just the social aspect. And you're learning more than less out of a textbook and more about yourself and how you interact with people and how you interact with, just like those skills, those personal skills are just as important as any book knowledge too, So I think college, if you're intentional about it, you can walk away after a few years with being ready to take on the world.
Yeah. Have you heard of Alex Hormozy? He says this thing. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's this big business guy. He talks a lot. One of the things he says about college or like success, there's this interesting stat where like the number one factor to determine if someone's going to be successful is their zip code. And so like if you have a bad zip code, college is very beneficial to help you improve your chances of success in life.
Whoa, that's interesting. Makes a lot of sense if you back into that. There's a book called The Outliers. Have you read that one or heard that one?
I haven't read that one yet.
In short, it's taking research and it's always like the correlation doesn't prove causation. And so they have to figure out what's causing it. And so they go in, they look at the outliers. What are the reasons that this is actually happening? For instance, the first one he opens up with is he's at this like national hockey game and he realizes all the players on the roster are born between January and March, except for like 2. And he's like, what in the world? How did this happen?
Yeah, it's such a weird
and like,
side.
there's no reason for that to be. So he dives into that and goes, what's the outlier?
Yeah.
Well, he goes in and in Canada, hockey, you start at a very, very young age. They like train them from when they're like 3 or 4 years old. And if you're born in January, you're the oldest on the team. So if you're in December, you're the youngest on the team.
Okay.
And so if you're the oldest on the team and you're 3 years old, 4 years old, you might be a head taller than the next person.
Yeah.
You might be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, right? You're at that age, 11 months
is a big deal.
Is a huge difference.
Yeah.
And so basically, in essence, you get like all the fastest, strongest kids getting all the attention.
Yeah.
They're getting all the starting time. They're getting added resources. They're getting coaches that like see them, right? Like the potential. And all of a sudden, they're in the National Hockey League. It's all of them have the same birthday.
It all started way back.
Isn't that so crazy?
That's crazy.
So it's just like that. I think it's interesting to like look at stats like that where, the reason for success isn't always what you think it is. And if that's crazy, if it's as simple as a zip code.
Yeah. Well, that one just because it's like, it's all about like who you surround yourself with. And so like the studies, basically, it's not like a lot of people, like a lot of studies will say like college is producing and improves your chances of success and the money you make. But this study kind of shows that like it's more about like who you surround yourself with. And so people who start in a situation where they're surrounded by a bunch of people who are working really hard and improving their life will probably be successful anyways. but they still could learn a lot from college. But people who are in a bad environment where, a lot of people around them aren't being very successful and don't have a good start, if they get out of that environment and go to college, their chances get way boosted.
Yeah, makes sense. I think we're all dealt different cards. I was dealt a really good hand, and makes sense in my life. I can't imagine being born into a zip code where I wasn't given a good hand. Not to say I've had my fair share of like trial and trauma in my life, but nowhere near what some people have.
For
and
sure.
That's plays such a disadvantage. So I think play the cards you're dealt.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about poker, with the theme of poker, is you can win with the worst hand.
For sure.
And it's not easy. It's easier to win with the better hand, the best hand.
Definitely.
But you can win, and that's a good life lesson, is that you can win no matter what.
I think that's a beautiful part of like the country we live in, America, where like even if you have a bad hand, you can still win, as long as you work hard enough and you value education and try to improve your life. Tell me a little bit more about Thread Wallet. So like, I did a little research. Did it really start from like a rubber band on a broccoli?
Yeah. So I was living out in Hawaii.
Okay.
I was playing soccer at both BYU, and then the BYU Hawaii coach asked me if I'd play out there, and so I was bouncing back and forth. And so when I went out there, back to like being envious of the California kids, I wanted to learn to surf.
Yeah.
So I got on the ocean, got like the worst board I could find on Facebook Marketplace. Didn't even have a leash, didn't know what I was doing. I walked to the beach and I'm like, I still have my wallet. Like, am I going to bury my wallet in the sand? And I just didn't know it. So I left it in my board shorts, and I thought, whatever. And then come into this, after surfing, and my wallet's lost to the ocean.
Oh no.
Again, this is like, being ADHD. It's not like the first time I lost my wallet. So I kind of knew the drill. I went online to buy a new wallet. And while I did that, I couldn't find anything that I liked. So I ended up not buying anything. And then I renewed all my cards and stuff, student ID and credit cards. And then they came, but I didn't have a wallet to carry. So I was walking around the grocery store kind of fidgeting with my cards. Yeah. And I was just like, I just need something to like tie around this. And then I see the thick rubber bands around the asparagus and the broccoli and stuff. And I just swiped one of those and wrapped it around. And I was like, that is nice. Like, that's a good, nice, sleek, slim as you can get it, minimalist, like being in wet board shorts all the time. Like, it won't get, like leather would get warped. And so I was just like, this is it. This is like the best wallet I've ever had. And then fast forward into the next semester, I was in a class that was for crowdfunding on Kickstarter. And we had to come up with a product idea to launch in the class. And I'm looking through like my journal of ideas, and I'm like, the wallet idea actually has some potential, and it's also very easy to make. And so I was like, if I could this concept of a rubber band, like just make a better rubber band.
Yeah.
But then, and that was very functional. But then at the time, Stance Socks, this like very expressive sock company, started to gain a lot of momentum. And I noticed them at a surf shop in Huntington. And I was like, that is what I want to do. Like, what they did with socks, and they just completely disrupted the category.
Yeah.
And they brought it to life. I was like, I want to do that with wallets. Like, that's what's right. Like, in the space of wallets, there was just like these bulky brown, black wallets, and they were all sitting under the glass at the retail store.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do was get it above the counter and bring it to life in terms of the expression, but also keep it very slim and minimalist. So therein lies the idea, the story, and then so then I was like prototyping and trying to figure out how I'm actually going to do this, how I'm going to print on the elastic, how I'm going to, all these things. And then I come across this company in Orem called Beloved, and they had what they call sublimation printing. And so I learned more about that process. I took some white elastic from Joann's Fabric, and I asked him if I could print, and the guy was like, the intern there was like, sure, let's do it. And so he helped me line up the first piece of elastic that I ever printed on was a poop emoji pattern that he just had there.
That's funny.
And then I take it to my girlfriend at the time, and she had a sewing machine. So we're like sewing it together, and she adds the key ring to it. She's like, as a woman, I would actually love this because I don't have to, if I could just like grab it all with my keys and my gym pass and everything, not have to carry a purse. And I was like, interesting. Actually, I was more like, in my head, I was like, that's not going to work. But she was like, this will work. And she was right, and we got married.
Okay.
Like 6 months later. So that's my wife, Mackenzie.
That's awesome.
And so, we've been doing Thread for over 10 years now, almost exactly 10 years, and we've been doing it from like 2 weeks into dating.
Yeah.
So it's been like part of our life, and it's grown into something more than we thought it'd ever be. We sell more than just wallets now. A lot of fun accessories, backpacks, bags, all sorts of fun new things coming out this next year. But ultimately, it's the same lane of expression, self-expression, and adventure. Just living kind of like what we were talking about with school. It's like every day is an adventure. Like you guys are like just getting done with your freshman year, right? It's like so fun. And I feel like freshman year is like the golden years of life, because it's like you're just learning and having a great time. It's like just keep that with you throughout your whole life. If you can keep that like energy and adventure, not just like adventure in the sense that like you're going camping.
Yeah.
Adventure in that like every day is an adventure, and so we're all about everyday adventure and self-expression, and that comes through all the different products that we make now.
That's an awesome message, awesome brand message. I think it's really cool how you guys did what Stance did to socks.
Yeah.
You did that same thing, you disrupted the whole wallet space. And then you told me a little bit, you're expanding into backpacks, bags. What's the process been like for that, from expanding from your initial product, wallets, to adding more products to your arsenal?
It was tricky because we named the brand Thread Wallets. So, and we did that intentionally because we really wanted to own wallets.
Okay.
We wanted to be the brand that like people thought of when they needed a new wallet, they'd just go straight to Thread. There wasn't really a brand that did that. And so we felt like our foot in the door was nailing wallets. And so we did that, but then it was, okay, how do we transition into a broader category? And so the broader carry category involves an array of carry accessories. And so we thought, well, we can't go straight into competition with like backpacks, because there's just a huge list of backpacks. And also like, what gives us as a brand the authority to launch a backpack? And so we slowly introduced more and more accessories. We introduced a line of wallets, so it was more than just the one wallet. We introduced complementary products that worked with the wallets.
Okay.
So it's kind of the whole like, do you want fries with that mentality?
Yeah.
It's like McDonald's, they probably don't make much money on their burgers, but they make a ton of money on their soda and fries. And so similarly, we introduced lanyards and lip balm holders as kind of our fries, where you buy a wallet, but then it kind of works.
You get the customer in for the wallet and upsell them
Yeah.
on the lanyard and the lip balm.
Yeah, exactly. And then AirPod cases and so on and so forth with complementary products. And then there was a point where, okay, let's pull the trigger on seeing if we can sell bag. And we didn't want to go, like I said, into a big bag. So we went into a crossbody, smaller. It was trending. It was, the size was good. The silhouette was nice. The quality was good. The price point was all there. It was a really good canvas for art and expression. It fit Thread exactly. So we launched that, and it was just a home run. And so since then, it was such a relieving moment, because it was like, okay, we can last past just wallets now.
You can spread out
we can
the whole
expand. And so we dropped the wallets off of our name, so it's just known as Thread.
Okay.
And we do all sorts of bags and stuff now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one thing I noticed about your company is like your marketing must be like amazing, because it's this small wallet. I'm not sure how you guys market it so well. What's your main focus? Are you focused on influencer marketing, organic content, paid ads?
So quite an array of, in our marketing mix or channels, whatever you want to say it, is there are plenty. We didn't start off with plenty. We wanted to be very simple initially. We rode the wave of Instagram pretty hard. I mean, 10 years ago, it was relatively new. Influencer marketing was brand new. And so influencer marketing was and still is a big part of our channel, a big part of marketing. Where we really started to see scale with revenue was through advertising, through specifically Meta. Well, at the time it was just Facebook, and then Facebook and Instagram, now Meta, we call it. And then have introduced Google. We spend just as much on Google now, so that's keyword searches and YouTube. Google
Okay.
owns YouTube. So we're just pumping a lot of ads. And then email and SMS. So email marketing and SMS makes up 60% of our website sales. So it's
That's
huge.
huge.
So building our own community. How do we capture more emails and SMS? How do we market to them? Always thinking of ways to do that.
Okay.
And then all sorts of events. But like if you're looking at the bulk of where revenue is coming from, it's what I just said. It's influencer ads, email and SMS.
Okay.
Those are like your three-legged stool. But then you have like what do you call it? Like complementary or supplementary marketing things like affiliate marketing. We're trying to grow that. We have event marketing that we're always doing local events. We're hosting and or sponsoring bigger events.
Okay.
What else? I think you could consider wholesale as a marketing channel in a way. So wholesale is where we sell to like Urban Outfitters, Free People,
You
REI.
guys do a lot of wholesaling?
Yeah. So we
Okay.
sell to like thousands of stores across the nation. Now introducing international. So we're in Japan, we're in Latin America, and that's it right now. But we have a few on the radar. Wholesale is big because it's money. You're
Yeah.
actually getting paid, but it's also like mass distribution
Yeah.
equals marketing. Because like the way that we do it is we our minimum order to buy into Thread, a retailer has to spend $1,000, and when we ship that, we ship them a display for
Okay.
free
So that's
that they
the
put
marketing
on
right
they
there.
put on top of their counter. So that's marketing, and there's imagery on the display and all that. So it's just like in a way that's a marketing channel too. We also do B2B sales. So like
Okay.
we'll do custom orders for your biggest companies in the world: Delta, Marriott, Google, TikTok, Chick-fil-A, like all, and that's also marketing, because now you just sold bulk thousands and thousands of units to these employees or whatever, and they're wearing your product now,
Yeah.
and they're getting introduced to Thread. So in a way, sales channels can become marketing channels. But yeah, that's, I don't know, it was a long-winded
So you
answer
guys,
for
you guys are
marketing.
just spread across.
Yeah.
Everywhere you can market, you're marketing it.
And it just takes time. Like
Yeah.
it's not like we just all could do that in the first year. You
Yeah.
know, it's been 10 years, but yeah.
Okay, and then what would you say, like one of your biggest struggles trying to grow Thread? Like, has there ever been a moment where you almost quit Thread?
Oh,
beginning?
actually, yeah. Last year was the first year that I think I started to burn out personally. Before that, it's like the Steve Jobs quote: like you don't try to motivate from behind and you push them. You start with the vision and you look into the future and you go, this is what it's going to be, and you let the vision pull you through. And I think that I started to lose. I started to get a little bit burnt out because I was hitting my passion for what I was doing in Thread was dying.
Okay.
And it wasn't that my passion for Thread was dying, it was the passion for what I was doing at Thread. And because I'm a creator and an entrepreneur, my job had slowly became more a traditional CEO.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of like maintenance and managing people. And while I think I can do good at that in some regard, I didn't love it.
Okay.
And so I was trying to like find the passion again. And because the passion wasn't there, I started to fizzle out. And so finally, that was last year, I was like, I think I'm done. Like I can't do this. I'm just like burnt out. And my wife was like, no, you got to keep going.
So you're a CEO at you're an entrepreneur at heart. Like you just want to get out there, develop new things, and like
Totally,
push
yeah.
the boundaries.
I think a lot of times like the entrepreneur, the person who starts the company isn't the one that like takes it to, 100 million plus.
Yeah.
Like for me, so what I did was I promoted our COO, Mitch Sanders, and he's now our president. So now we have a president CEO dynamic.
Okay.
And he is like more the day-to-day, and he kills it. Like he's so good with like that day-to-day stuff, and it allows me to stay high level with strategy, with vision, with more creative stuff. And then also I'm pursuing other ventures like on the side that I think are feeding those juices for me. So I'm like more passionate about what I'm doing now than ever before.
What are some of the new ventures you're starting to work on?
So we're sitting in the room for Carry On.
Okay.
Carry On is our nonprofit where we coach kids skateboarding, but the premise is that we're teaching them life skills, specifically resilient skills, and we do that through action sports.
Okay.
So we have a skate park here. We have 200 kids signed up on any given time. They roll in here. They're like 4 years old, or we go up to 17 years old. They're all like dressed in their pads, and it's the cutest thing ever. But we teach skateboarding is so good because it has all the ingredients for like you're falling a lot. It's scary by nature.
Yeah.
It's new. There's balance. There's just a lot of like natural ingredients for the sport that help teach these kids. We want to eventually get into other sports too, like rock climbing and mountain biking and surfing and snowboarding and things like that. But right now it's just skateboarding. So I'm focused there. Some of my attention's there. And then my mom and I, my mom has suffered from alcoholism for most of my life. And so she got sober 4 years ago. And a lot of it was because she started to see this vision for herself, this purpose to write children's books, to help kids and help parents and teach them life skills through books and through, and so her and I just started, we haven't launched it yet, but we're working on a children's magazine for all the kids here at Carry On that you can sign up, that kids can learn from this group of these like cartoon characters that we created.
Yeah.
And we tell stories about them, and there's adventure ideas, there's recipes to try, arts and crafts, it's just like a really fun magazine that kids can get every month. Eventually it'll be every month. Right now it'll be every quarter. But yeah, we're working on that together. And then my sister and I, in our basement here at the Thread headquarters, it's unfinished. So we are going to build a wellness center. Okay. So that'll consist of a studio for yoga and meditation, breath work. And then there's a zone for like cold plunge and sauna. So for contrast therapy. And then there's 2 rooms for massage therapy. And my sister is a massage therapist. So I got a lot on my plate, but luckily I have really good team members, especially like for Thread. That's like, they're just crushing it. And then Carry On, have a really good executive team. And then for these 2 new ventures, it allows me to kind of dive into back to the 0 to 1 phase, which is so fun.
Yeah, that is so cool. You have all these different events. I mean, all of those things sound sweet.
Dude, it's so fun right now.
With all that stuff, how do you manage your time with all that stuff?
Well, right, like I said, it's like I luckily have put systems and people in place that those things run itself, and I'm able to let go. A lot of times people have a hard time with that. I've kind of gotten used to, and I think almost addicted to delegating in a way. Like once Mitch has taken the reins, like he does it better than I anyway. Yeah. Like I know where I can add value, and I will add value, but he's like, so Thread is minimal for me at the moment. Carry On, it's relatively small. It's just this one location. We're expanding into our second, but we have 3 executive members of that team that manage all the day-to-day. So that's also taken care of. I still work high level business development, stuff like that, but it allows like most of my day, like before you guys showed up, I was drawing for the magazine. Yeah. That's awesome. So like I'm spending a lot of time right now, I'm spending on that. The wellness center, there's only so much I can do right now because it's in construction phase. So like I've given them like what we need to do, and then now it's like they have to execute. So right now my main focus is the magazine.
So you've put yourself in a position where you could really focus on what you care about and then add value where you can throughout all your different ventures.
Yeah, you summed it up nicely. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this, it took a long time for me to figure out, and a lot of hurt, pain, throughout my childhood to finally get to like, okay, this is where I'm really passionate, with like impact, because everything that we're doing now in action sports and mental health, that where those 2 things combine is where that's my purpose. Okay. Like my personal mission statement is to help build a resilient youth. And the way that I do that is through utilizing action sports to teach mental health, to teach resilient skills. And so the magazine is just one element to that. Carry On is just one element to that. But I'm creating over the next, we have Carry On and we have Carry On Studios. And so it's like this, I call it an ecosystem of companies that work together for the same mission. Carry On Studios is the entertainment side of things. Okay. So it's like the media. So think of it in terms of like this magazine, I eventually want it to be animation. I want it to be like on Netflix. I want it to be like merchandise. I want to sell, like, I want to see kids with like it's called the Stoke Brigade or Struck. I want to see like Struck pillowcases and toys and, like walking down the Target aisle and seeing like a collaboration with Tech Deck and seeing like our skateboard, that's where I can see it going in that way. But then there's also like video games. Like I grew up with Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So it was like, how do we impact kids through video games in like a healthy way? How do we show up in apps, and how do we educate them? How do we drive awareness around mental health and all these things through, like I said, movies and books and magazines? And so that's Carry On Studios. That's like the arm where I think you have mass awareness, mass distribution, mass education. In Carry On, the nonprofit is the boots on the ground. So all that media will then be a funnel into the boots on the ground where we're actually getting to teach the kids. Now they're like signed up for a surfing class or a skateboarding class, or they're actually rock climbing, and we're helping them build these skills. So that's my lifelong pursuit. And then, I'm 35. So luckily I found that when I was young, and I have, let's call it, 40 years left, maybe 35 more years to just like crush on this thing.
That's awesome that you're able to do thread so young. And now you have
I lucked out, dude, big time.
Goal and this mission that you want to accomplish, and you're able to do all these ventures that create a whole ecosystem of dominance just to like push towards your goal.
Dude, I'm so lucky. I felt like figuring out my life's purpose this early on has been honestly like the biggest blessing, because now I have like the energy. I have like good momentum that like I can actually drive impact,
What would you say or for you in particular, like if you had to start over from scratch, and like let's say you went back, you're 18 again, but you had all the knowledge you have now, what kind of like industry would you try to go into? What kind of field? What
for me personally, is that what you're saying?
Or in general for like anyone, like what do you think?
Like if I was 18 today.
Yeah.
That's funny because we couldn't start Thread the same way we started Thread 10 years ago, because TikTok didn't exist, or plenty of other things. I think the broad lesson of, I don't know, within product market fit, that's a science. It's an art and a science that I think takes some curating. It takes like some like investment to get good at. Some people are naturally good at it. Some people just are horrible at it. And you can get good, but it's not like I get ideas all the time, either pitched to me or someone goes, oh, what do you think about this idea? What do you think of this? And it's like, okay, the idea in of itself could be great. It could be an A+ idea, right? The idea is there. The execution of the idea could be just absolute dog crap. You know what I mean? And so like an A+ idea can still flop, because if you didn't do it right, if you didn't launch it right, if you priced it wrong, if you marketed to the wrong people, if you marketed the wrong way, if you used the wrong tactics, if you didn't have the money for it, if you used your money the wrong way, like there's so many factors that go into an idea getting wings and flying or just eating crap. You know what I mean? So
I heard from this one entrepreneur that I talked to a while ago, and he said that like the idea, you could go to lunch with some of your friends and sit there for a couple hours and come up with a really good idea. The most important part is just the execution. So getting a really good team together. The whole process.
Team is key.
Is more important than the idea even.
Totally. It's like, think about making something to eat. I don't know if you cook, but like I'm not a big cook at all, but like just thinking about, okay, you have a recipe. It could be the best recipe in the world. But they all take different ingredients. There's so many ingredients that go into that. And it's not just the ingredients, it's the how you use those ingredients and the order of operations. And what temperature you cook it at, and how long you cook it at. And so it's not just the idea, it's not just the recipe. It's not just, it's like, that's what makes a good chef, is like they know how to use all the ingredients. They know how to do all that stuff. A bad chef will use the same recipe and it will turn out like crap. I mean, how many Pinterest fails do we see? Because it's just like, it looks good. The person who's really good at it just crushed it, and then you try it and you're just like,
Yeah, and you're doing like following the same recipe, you just can't do it the
yeah,
same.
exactly. So to answer your question now, I'd say as an 18-year-old now, I would just start something right away. I just like get my hands dirty. If I was 18, I didn't have like, it doesn't have to be the best idea. It just needs to be an idea, and I just need to get educated. I just need to learn what tactics work. Today's age. What are the ingredients today that work, and why? And there's only one way to figure that out, and that's just to do it. And so, like, if you're in school, if you're not in school, or if you're in high school, if you're whatever it is, like, and you want to be an entrepreneur, just start something. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like, I'd say pick as simple of a product as you can make and source, and just get going on that and try to learn as much as you can.
Okay.
As fast as you can.
Start your education as quick as you can.
Yeah, don't get paralyzed by, this isn't the best idea. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, just get going. Just get going and let it evolve. Like, when we started Thread, we were actually going to do socks. This is part of the story I leave out a lot of times. But the name Thread came from the sock idea, which, playing soccer, we, as teammates, I noticed that we're all wearing different socks. Like, some of us were wearing Nike, some of us were wearing Adidas and Stance, and some people wore church socks. It was like, this is all over the map. And I was like, let's make these uniform. So my idea was that I'm going to create a practice sock for soccer teams across the world. And there's millions of soccer players that I could market to. And so I used my connections here locally, and I asked if like this was viable idea, and I talked to them, and they go, yeah, we don't have a sock supplier, so like we would order from you. Yeah, when we order our uniforms, we'll just order the socks. It's like, okay, sick. So that was the idea. And so Thread, I was going to use bamboo as there's a way to produce bamboo as a thread. And so that was the idea for the name Thread, because it was focused on the thread was the differentiating factor. Long story short, we ended up adapting. We changed. We pivoted to wallets. But, that's another story. But like, ultimately, just get going and just like learn as you go and pivot. The hardest part is getting going, honestly, because it's like you get paralysis. It's scary.
There's so many options. It's scary.
Where do I start?
Yeah.
There's so much you don't know. It's like, so okay, if you don't know, then what do you know? And then start there, and then. If you only know how to make a t-shirt, and if you don't even know how to do that, it's pretty easy. So just figure that out and start selling t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, just go on to Alibaba.com and find a product that you like, order it, and start to see if you can sell it. Like, create a website, figure that out. I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there.
Yeah, it's so easy today too. You can
Totally.
Easy Shopify store.
Yeah.
Buy off Alibaba and then just connect the dots. And then it probably won't work, but you can learn a whole lot.
You learn a lot, yeah. And but to the point of like, we didn't really wrap around to finish this topic of like product market fit. But product market fit is identifying what product and how that'll fit into the market, how that will actually work in the market. And there's so many levers that you can pull, but as an example, like we could come up with an idea right now that I think would be viable. Like, just look around real fast. Like, if we thought, okay, I can't think of one right now, but let's see, like, okay, so you're wearing two different shoelaces. You're wearing a white shoelace and a blue shoelace. Is that for any particular reason?
I have a clothing brand that I've been trying to start. So it's shoelaces.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so shoelaces. Yeah. So shoelaces are the easiest thing to source. They're so cheap. Mm-hmm. You can get super expressive with them. Every human being wears shoes, for the most part, exactly. And they're proud of their shoes. We don't really do a lot with the shoelace. So, okay, now we look at, okay, who's the demographic? Because if everyone wears shoes, doesn't mean everybody is your target market.
Yeah.
You should focus in on, okay, what am I really passionate about? Okay, is it I don't know what you do, but let's call it like soccer. Okay. You're wearing Sambas, right? So like Sambas, like, okay, if we're just focused on soccer players and we're going to just nail that market. Okay, we're doing shoelaces for soccer players. Okay. So now that helps give us direction into the creative and the branding and the marketing and who's going to be our ambassadors, what influencers we're going to reach out to. You see how like we can just narrow it in?
Yeah.
And we look at all the competitor, like we look at the landscape and there's like, okay, there's 0 competitors in soccer shoelaces right now. So how do we just crush that, you know? Yeah. And how do we let's reach out to all the retailers that sell soccer shoes and go, okay, do you guys have a line of laces that you guys sell alongside? You know, like, and just see if there's a demand for that. And you just start to do your due diligence. I bet you we could like just come up with an idea right now and just nail it. And that would take probably less than $100. I think shoelaces, I bet we could get our first order.
You can source them for about $1 each.
$1 each, and your minimum order is probably what, 100?
It's like 500. But
is it 500?
Yeah.
I bet you could get it down to 50 cents per lace, depending on the factory.
Yeah.
I think. And then, or you could source them locally. I don't know, but you could probably spend, let's call it less than $1,000 to start a business.
Yeah.
Have a website, you're cranking on marketing, and we're selling product $1,000 later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't take rocket science to like figure out you have to have this brand new idea that nobody's ever thought of. Mm-hmm. Like you just have to be a little bit different. Like shoelaces exist, but do shoelaces in soccer exist? Yeah. But do a soccer shoelace brand exist? No. Yeah. And does can we screen print on the laces, or can we make them super cool, colorful with like really cool tips that are different, you know? I don't know. Like just can we make it 10% different or 20% different and make it work with pricing, with demographic, with creative? There's a million factors. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs get disheartened when they go, oh, I had this idea, but then I saw it, like somebody already did it. It's like, so?
Look at a different market.
Yeah, or do the same market. Like Nike wasn't the first. Like Adidas was before Nike, and Reebok was before Adidas. And who's at the top? I think it's Nike. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong now, but at one point they're at the top. And they weren't the first, you know? So like, it doesn't mean someone, in fact, sometimes the fact that people have done it and that it worked is actually really good validation to do it, you know? Also, I need to go here soon. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Oh shoot, I really gotta go. I rambled a lot. Sorry, bro.
You want to end off with?
Thanks for having me, dude. That was good. Sorry I rambled a lot, but obviously very passionate about anybody who wants to take the leap into entrepreneurship. It's scary, but dude, it's the funnest thing ever.
I really appreciate you letting me meet with you. And your story's so inspiring. So.
Epic, dude. I'm excited for what you get to accomplish.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Sweet, dude.
How do you feel it went?
Pretty good too.
Yeah, that was
he had some cool stuff to share, and like I think the cameras were good, the mics went good, everything went smooth.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty hyped. Dude, and this half pipe is sick.
All right. Happy Valentine's.
Will you be my Valentine, Ellie?
Yeah. Okay. Off we go.
All those people work for that guy we were just talking to for a whole hour.
Yeah.
Like, all of them work for him.
Also, the way he like stepped away from his business.
Yeah, I think that's so dumb.
So, I was kind of wondering if like you think he put in that skate park like recently.
Yeah, that's all new.
Yeah.
What he was saying basically was like he didn't enjoy his business anymore because he basically was at a point where he just had to manage people and do like executive decisions. And it was like super boring, so he just kind of hired someone to do that for him. And then now he has like a skate park, he's making a kid's book, and like he's doing what he really cares about. Like I feel like Threadwads wasn't even his max potential. Like this dude's 35, he has his whole business he just built, and then he's just stepping away from it so he can do what he actually cares about. And so like the whole process is like you don't have to worry about having the perfect thing right away. If something works, do it.
be successful with it, and use it as a stepping stone to get to the thing you actually want to do.
Did you get nervous at all?
A little bit nervous, but it was chill.
So what should we go do now?
Get your money up, not your funny up.
Yeah, we gotta go paint curves now.